Donald Trump has announced that he, I mean, it's silly to even frame things like that sometimes, but Donald Trump has, words have come out of Donald Trump's mouth. This is better. There's got to be a better construct for this stuff. Words have come out of Donald Trump's mouth. And he claims to have a plan to allow purchase of insurance across state lines. He's still on the health care kick. And meanwhile, as the Trump administration does as much as it can to destroy the Affordable Care Act, it's sort of stunning what they've been doing and despicable. But here is Trump being asked, like, do you have confidence in Mitch McConnell? What's happening with, can you trust Schumer and Pelosi on a bipartisan fix for the Affordable Care Act? Here is Pete Hegseth from Fox and Friends interviewing Donald Trump.
I feel like when you start negotiating with Democrats, do you feel like you can trust Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi?
It's not a question of trust. First of all, I have a nice relationship with them. It's not really trust. It's if we can do a great health care bill, bipartisan, I'm okay with that.
Even if it's not a repeal?
Pete, we have the votes to get it done. You can't do it when somebody's in the hospital. When you have 52 votes and you need 51, it's very hard to get because you always have somebody, and in some cases they want to grandstand. A lot of bad things happen. But we have the votes, but we don't have the time because it's Friday. I mean, literally Friday it ends at a certain time on Friday. Mm-hmm. So we'll bring it into a few months from now. We'll vote it. It's block grants. It's going to be great health care. But in the meantime, I have that little period of time. I'll negotiate with the Democrats. If we can come up with a fantastic health care bill, that's okay with me. Good for both parties, bipartisan.
Okay. That was such a bunch of nonsense, ranging from block grants. He doesn't know what he's just throwing out words that he's heard around the office. In addition, he keeps insisting that somebody's in the hospital. Some mystery senator is in the hospital. People are speculating that he thinks he's talking about, who is it? Tad Cochran? And Cochran and his office keep tweeting out, "I'm not in the hospital." I mean, I appreciate the well wishes, but I'm not in the hospital.
Not yet.
So Trump, the wizard of excuses. The dog ate it, and then the dog got hit by a car and was in the hospital. And then he was grandstanding, and that's why he was John McCain. John McCain's fault. And then time. Who knew? Friday. They just told us Friday. It doesn't go past Friday sometime on Friday. The dog goes on Friday. Block grant. Fantastic health care. We'll do it. They're just going to keep. This is like the Republican voter on this is like the dog running around the track trying to catch that fake rabbit that they use in the dog races that goes around and around and around. And it'll slow down and the dogs will slow down. And then he's block grant. And it just goes. So Trump has also argued that he is going to, this is what he said. I'll probably be signing a very major executive order where people can go out across state lines, do lots of things. I don't know what that means.
Things that are prohibited from doing across state lines?
Yeah, no. Prostitutes, you can bring prostitutes across state lines. Buy their own health care that will probably be signed next week. It's being finished now. It's going to cover a lot of territory and a lot of people, millions of people. Now, the bottom line is health insurers already can sell insurance across state lines in multiple states. That's according to the left wing. Oh, no. Mike Considine, the CEO of the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. He said they can do that already. Several states, including Wyoming, Maine, and Georgia, have already tried allowing across state line sales, and it's been a bust. And the reason is insurers don't want to do it. It's too complicated. Different states have different regulations. And even under the Affordable Care Act, where there has been some baseline created, it's still too complicated for insurance companies to sell across state lines. They can't figure out risk pools. They can't figure out all these different factors. It's just too much of a risk for them. Because here's the thing. Insurance companies, they don't even particularly like the individual market to begin with because it's their own money. They like group insurance because that's the money. It's not their money they're risking. They're just basically coming in as administrators. Washington Insurance Commissioner Mike Kreidler, a Democrat, said, "My insurers here absolutely cringe when you talk about across state sales." They panic, the insurance companies. Right now, to sell coverage in a state, an insurance company has to obtain a license in that state and follow all its rules. State rules used to vary quite a bit. Now less so because of the Affordable Care Act. But embedded in the Affordable Care Act, a provision which allows insurance sales across state lines if a compact exists between the insurer's home state and the enrollees. The Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services has to certify the compact will not weaken enforcement of insurance regulations, and no compacts have yet been implemented because nobody wants to do it. But yet it's the huge sales point of Republican reform. It's another one of these rabbits going around the track that the dog can never catch. And they never have to address it. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos